One of the things that there's no clear way to do in Luminar AI is to retouch a portrait of a couple or a group. There is a way to do it. I'm going to show you in this video. I think it's a little bit of a workaround, but it's possible, and that's why I want to give a demonstration. Hi, my name is William Beem. I'm a photographer just like you. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at this? Okay, so we've got our couple right here, and here's the problem. If I come over here to the Portrait tab, and I want to make a change, let's say face light, you see how both faces end up getting brighter. So I can bring this all the way up and all the way down. Slim face has the same thing. So if I bring this up, and slim face doesn't necessarily work on every portrait. In this case, it's not working on here. So maybe it's because they're too close together. Maybe it's because the AI couldn't identify it. But that's just something to keep in mind is when are the tools going to work properly if there's some confusion as to what's in the photo. So I think with couples and groups, that's some potential that you have to watch out for. But there is a way to go ahead and process this gentleman differently than the lady behind him. So why don't we go ahead and do that? And we're going to start off working with the gentleman first. And the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to start off just going down the list. I'm going to start off with face light, and I'm going to get his face where I want it. And you know that it's processing her as well too. But that's okay. We're going to go ahead with that. Matter of fact, I want to zoom in just a little bit closer, get kind of tighter on their faces so I can see the effects of what I'm processing. And as we mentioned, slim face isn't working. But I do want to come over here and take a look at the other aspects. So if I look at eyes, I can see that he's already got blue eyes in there. And she looks like she's kind of got blue and gray eyes. We can change that if we want to and give these blue eyes. I don't want to do that to him because I think the way the color of the blue and the pupil inside is just a bit larger than what he naturally has. So I'm going to stick with his eyes right there. I'm going to try and give a little bit of flare. Now this is something else that I've noticed is when I go to enlarge eyes, it's happening on both of them. You'd expect that. That's because it sees two faces, is trying to process them. One of the things you may want to do is get a mask and tell it, I only want to see the processing where I have the mask. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of make a sloppy, loose mask over his face. And that's it. So now, if I go back and I want to enlarge his eyes, notice that her eyes also enlarge too. She's not within the mask. To me, that's a bug that's within Luminar AI. So that's something I'm going to go back and report to Skylum and say that if there's a mask that's still enlarging the eyes for somebody else. So that's kind of something to watch out for. Most of the things I found do work with the mask. There are a couple of tools that don't seem to work with the mask, and enlarging the eyes is one of them. So I want to give a little bit of eye whites to him. And he doesn't show that much of an eye white there, but there's just a little bit, and I kind of want to enhance that a bit. And I want to see how the eye enhancer works. And you can see that it really brought some sharpness and sparkle into his eyes. It didn't do anything over here. There's no red eye to work with. Well, let's try a little bit of the dark circle remover. I don't think he's really got a problem there. Now, this is something that I like is I've been critical of improved eyebrows in the past, and I said that it only worked on people with dark eyebrows. Clearly, this man has lighter colored, almost blonde eyebrows. And as I enhance it now, I'm not getting that black in there. So this must have been an improvement that came out with Update 2. So you can go ahead and enhance eyebrows on people other than just dark-haired people. And I think it's doing a nice job here. I'm really pleased to see that. So that's something I'll take it all the way up if I have to. Maybe we don't want his eyebrows that big, but the fact that it's getting the right color and the right improvement in his eyebrows to me is a nice step forward. The last thing I want to do for him is whiten his teeth just a little bit. So I'm going to start off about here. That might be a bit too much. Let's go back to about 25 or 26. And I think that's good. Let me back off, because I always want to back off before I check my work. I'm going to go over here to before and after. And you can see this is where we were before. And mostly you can see the face lighting, but you can see in his eyes and his teeth. And I think that's right where I want to be. So here's the trick. I'm going to export this. I'm going to save it to disk. And I'm just going to leave it on my desktop, a happy couple. I'm going to leave the sharpening on high. The size I want to be the same, so leave that as the original size. And I'm just going to go ahead and click Save. Now that that's done, we're going to come back to Edit. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to reset all of my settings. Basically undo everything I did. Because now on this photo, I want to concentrate on the lady. And we're going to go through that process. So let me zoom in a little bit closer again. Maybe a little too much. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to paint a mask. I only want this to affect her. And keep in mind, I probably forgot this with the gentleman, but you may have to do a mask again if you use something like for skin or body. Since I only worked with these tools for the gentleman, I think that mask worked with everything, but let's go ahead. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up the face light, and you can see that just kind of brightened her face a little bit. Slim face, we're not getting anything on this photo. Now for her iris, I think before I try to change it, I want to go through and bring up the eye enhancer. And that gives her a lot of sparkle. I'm going to bring up the eye white. So I'm not going to change her iris, although if you want to or need to, you can do it here. The iris visibility looks very good. I'm really happy with her eyes. I don't want to enlarge her eyes. I don't see any red eye. Let's try the dark circles. And there's a little bit of slight improvement underneath her eyes there. And now let's go ahead and try and improve her eyebrows. And that's better. It is a bit darker, but it also kind of matches her hair. She has naturally darker eyebrows than he does. I think this is working actually very nicely. And I don't want to bring it up too much because I don't want to make it look like she's got black eyebrows like that. So I'm going to come around here maybe about 35, 36, and that looks good to me. Now, I'm going to do a little bit more with the lips than I didn't do any on the other gentleman. So let me go ahead and bring the teeth whitening up probably about there. Let's say for our lip saturation, I'm just kind of doing arbitrary things. So usually I kind of go about 25 or 30 to see what the look is. Let's bring up the redness a little bit. Yeah, that really popped. Do I want to darken them? Not so much. I'm going to bring that back down to 10. All right, so now I wouldn't do skin smoothing on the gentleman, and I didn't, but I'm going to come down here to Skin AI, and we have the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and paint a mask because it's a different tool, and the previous mask would not apply here. And again, I'm just being very loose and very casual because the AI tools are going to target the skin, so I don't mind that I've covered her eyes, her teeth, or other things that I typically wouldn't do in another tool. So I'm going to bring this up about 30 or so. I don't really see much shine there, but I always like to try and see if bringing up shine removal does anything necessary. I don't think it's really needed over here, and I don't see any skin defects, but I pretty much always click that anyways. And that's where I am on this photo. So let me back this off. We'll take a look at our before and after. There is our before, and there is our after. So how do I get the two together? It's very simple. I come over to local masking. I'm going to click the add button. I'm going to add a texture. And the texture I'm going to load, obviously, is the one that I saved before with the adjustments on the gentleman. So I'm going to load that. I'll go ahead and click Place Texture. Just make sure everything's matching. And so now the texture has the adjustments that we did on the gentleman. All we need to do is come over here, click the Erase button, and then take the texture off of the woman behind him. And now we have our changes for both of them. So if I come over here to our before and after, you can see how it's toggling her look on and off. You don't see it really affecting the gentleman so much because the texture I've loaded is the photo that I'd already processed with his adjustments on there. And that is just a quick look at how you can use the portrait tools inside of Luminar AI on a couple. If you have a group and there's more people, it's a bit more tedious. You have to make more textures. You have to process things a bit more. But for each person, this is the process that I go through. I hope this was helpful for you. If it was, please go ahead, click the like button. That lets YouTube know that I'm doing something right here, and maybe they'll share this with more people. Thanks so much for joining me here. Again, my name is William Beem, and I'll see you in the next video.